Hey Mom, hey Josh, hey everyone else. It's been a minute. I literally just spent the morning watching some of my old vlogs to be like, when was the last time I even posted? It was January, and I was telling you guys about how I was gonna start Twilight. I'm done with Twilight. Josh and I still don't have dressers, but that's okay because we have one picked out. We just have to pull the trigger. I also have done a very poor job at documenting my life the last few weeks. This probably would have been like the prime time to film. I think my creativity just kind of needed a rest, like my personal creativity needed a rest. It kind of makes me sad because some of the stuff that we did in the last few weeks I would love to look back on, but it's okay because I took a lot of photos. So just like up to date, we got back from our Cancun trip last night. I am still in my pajamas. Our house is a mess. Our Roomba's running downstairs. I have some chicken in the oven for a little meal prep. I just feel like I'm slowly but surely getting our lives together. Josh is already off at work. We're just jumping right back into it. I was like, might as well start recording as well. Because, like I said, been a minute. I haven't posted at all in February, so I guess we'll start there. My mom came to visit Valentine's Day weekend. We saw some family. We went shopping. It was crazy windy. And yeah, she got to see the church, the house, the whole thing, and it was such a blast to host her and have her here. And then not 5 days later, I flew to Florida to surprise my dad. Shout out to my stepmom for making that happen. Me, my little brother, and my brother's girlfriend, we got to surprise my dad at baggage claim and just be like, sup, we're crashing your vacation. We did Disney Springs. We did a bar crawl throughout downtown Orlando, which was super fun. And then we also got to eat at Ohana's, I think it's called. The buffet at the Polynesian Resort in Disney World. Rode the monorail around. But yes, all of that was so fun. And again, Dad, always a pleasure surprising you. Got back from that trip. We had about 10 days of normal, and then Josh and I got to fly to Cancun, where we met up with Rose and Jesse, our eternal travel buddies, for a week in Mexico, which was incredible. Something that's always very important to talk with your spouse, your partner, your family, whoever you're traveling with, is this a vacation or is this a trip? Like, if you've watched our Japan vlogs, you know that that was a trip. If you watched my family video of us in Hawaii, that was a vacation. And you might be like, that's semantics. It's really not. We were doing 10-mile days in Japan, where in Hawaii and in Mexico, we were sat. It was a beach vacation, not necessarily an international trip, if all of that makes sense. So most of our days was spent, we got a box of Krispy Kreme, we'd get some Starbucks, and then we'd post up on the beach, find some tacos, some margaritas during the day, and then we'd go out to dinner somewhere awesome. And truly, the food that we had was so, so good. We went to this one place that was like directly under our Airbnb 4 times. 4 times, and like not even sorry about that because it was that good. We went to this all-inclusive resort one day called Xcaret and saw tons of birds and butterflies. We did this underground river trail, like so cool. And then the next day we had a tour guide that took us to Tulum and to some what's the word? Basically, it was like swimming spots, and truly one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. And as I said, we got back last night. One of the craziest parts is we only had to take one flight from Atlanta to Cancun, and we were there. So yesterday we got on our flight at 8 a.m., landed in Atlanta at like 11, and then drove back to Chat, and we were home by like 2:30. And so the fact that we went to Mexico and yet it was that short of a travel day, maybe I don't mind living on the East Coast. But as always, it was so good to spend time with Rose and Jesse. We were very fortunate when we lived in California that we saw them most of the time, like twice a month, and we got really spoiled with that quality time, and so getting to spend a week uninterrupted with them was magical. Last thing I want to say, I got to read 5 books on this vacation, and also how you know it's vacation, not a trip, I read 5 books. Well, technically 4.5, but I want to rapid fire them really quick. I finished Tom Lake. I started Tom Lake back in Reading, and then it expired on my Libby, and then I got it back, picked up right where I left off. So good. It's like a modern day Michigan Little Women mixed with Dirty Dancing. Lethal combo, an incredible book. The next one I read was Unreasonable Hospitality, and this was from one of the managers of 11 Madison Park, which was rated the best restaurant in the world a couple years ago, and I'm pretty sure it has 5 New York Times stars. So good. And it's an industry that I know nothing about didn't think I was going to get anything from it, but if you are a leader or on a team in any capacity, he gives so many practical examples of what it means to be on a team and lead a team. So good. Another book that was like immediately applicable was Liturgy of the Ordinary. This has been on my Pinterest board for years, and then I finally found a copy. So wholesome, and about a mom who is also a pastor who also just takes every moment of her day to be like, hey, I might be doing dishes, I might be sitting in traffic, but I can still be encountering God. So good. I also finished the Twilight series, which I think I mentioned already, but I read Breaking Dawn on the Strip, which, what a book to just be reading at the beach. I also got to watch the part 1 and part 2 on the way home. I was laughing out loud at how bad those movies are. Like, I almost spit out my Coke Zero on the plane because I was like, it's just so bad when you watch it. Like, you love to hate it, you know? Anyways, Breaking Dawn. I'm going to read Midnight Sun, but for right now, I finished the original 4, and I am very proud of myself for doing that. And this one's embarrassing because it's the 5th book, but I can't remember, but In the Likely Event, that's what it was called. This is our book club book for this week, and it was really good. Like, I wrote on my Goodreads, which if you're not following, feel free, but I wrote on my Goodreads, it had you like giggling and squealing like a girl every other chapter, and then on the subsequent chapters, I was like biting my nails off because it's like active war zone Afghanistan 2021 craziness, but really good. The only thing that I regret about reading this book on this trip, the whole thing is around a plane crash. And so the first like 5 flashback chapters are about this couple getting in a plane crash. And so when we're flying back yesterday, for the first 3 minutes and the last 10 minutes, I was like on the edge of a panic attack just because I had just read that book. And so my card gets full or my battery dies in the middle of all of my rants. So all I have to say was, great book, don't read it if you're getting on a plane, but now I'm gonna go make some lunch and clean this place up. I had bread flour in my Walmart order and it wasn't ready last night, so they delivered it to my house, which is funny because you could throw a baseball and hit Walmart from where I'm at. Josh and I share Spotify, and so he can always tell when I'm planning a set because our queue and recently played on Spotify is just worship pads. But I'm trying to help out the musicians by finding a key so I don't just show up day of and I'm like, let's play around. So, shout out. In a slightly dramatic turn of events, I checked my weather app and it's only like 52 degrees, but the UV is a 6. And I said, after the week I just had, yes, I need more sunshine. Thank you so much for asking. So I grabbed my smoothie, my book, and my lawn chair, and I'm seated. Also, I never showed you guys, I don't think, our backyard. Like, on our little deck, I'll show you another angle. On our deck, when you look out our back door, it's like an Airbnb, like a little woodsy Airbnb. It's Friday morning and we have a conference all weekend at our church, and one of the fun things that I get to do is whenever we have someone visiting, like a pastor or a worship leader or somebody that's just coming in to help with the conference, I get to put together little goodie baskets. And if you know me, you know how much fun that is. We actually have 3 people here this weekend and then somebody here next weekend, so I get to build 4. So I thought I'd take you guys with me. I'm also trying to do this very quickly because I haven't had coffee yet today, but I didn't want to go and sit and work at Starbucks first. I wanted to run my errands, and so we're doing this speedy so that I can go get a coffee. I apologize for the randomness of this vlog, but had a leadership brunch today at our church to kind of kick off the conference. And then I was walking to my car and I saw that there was a Joann Fabrics, if you know, you know, in the same parking lot. So I was like, I'm just going to go meander. And now look what I'm up to. I have wanted to make one of these chunky hand knit blankets for so long, but this yarn is so expensive. And I found 2 of these for $30. And it's actually 3 of the small ones in one big one. So technically I got 6 for $30, which if you have ever done one of these, you know how crazy that is. So I started it and I'm sitting here. I'm like, oh, I'll give this to Josh tomorrow for our anniversary. And I'm like, sweetheart, when do you have the time? I had a slight mental breakdown when I was starting it because the video I was watching, she filmed in time lapse, not just a normal video. And so I panic called my sister and I said, can you explain it? And somehow I got it from her explaining it. Anyways, so I have about hour and a half to keep chugging along on this before I have to go pick up Josh from work. And then we have night 1 of our conference. But yeah, if you need me, I will be here for the duration.
With your presence, we say yes to you, Jesus. Fill your people.
So it's literally been a week and a half since the conference. Didn't film a thing. And I was gonna just end it on the shot of Josh playing keys, but then I remembered something huge happened this week, and I have to show you guys. Do you see what I see? Do you see it? Oh wait, do you also see this? Do you see that? Oh, and do you see that minus the first one? What am I looking at, Tess? I did it. I literally did it. She has Edward in her eye here, and she has Jacob in her eye here, and I have completed my Twilight thrifting the movie covers goal. You guys, I walked into the Second and Charles where I found New Moon, and it was sitting there. I've gone there probably 6 times since I thrifted New Moon and nothing. And I go in on the day where they're having their big sale, their penny a page sale. That doesn't really have anything to do with this, but it has to do with the other things. But I found this for $3. And if that ain't the Lord, I truly don't know what is. Not only was I able to finish that, but I did read Sunrise on the Reaping in one sitting. Josh had a day off of work, so we sat on the couch, made food, made coffee, just hung out all day, and did nothing but read. Sunrise on the Reaping, I would almost say is my favorite book in the entire Hunger Games universe. Don't come for me, because like obviously you know I would like sell my soul to read the first 3 again, but that's already how I feel about Sunrise on the Reaping. It felt like a family reunion in the best way. And I already want, I put this on Goodreads, I want 50 more prequels. Pick any character. I will be sad and I will read it. Back to the penny a page sale. I found a hardcover of Mockingjay and a copy of Catching Fire, both for penny a page. So Catching Fire I think was only like $3 and Mockingjay I think was $4, which is huge. And the day before I had found Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes for $1 at Goodwill. So I'm just missing the first one, so that's my new goal. Putting this out there, new goal. First Hunger Games, thrifted. And I also showed you the full Harry Potter. Now I have the first, second, and third book in just paperback, and then I have 4 through 7 now in hardcover. So I do have a complete series, and I never want to like throw shame in that game. Other than the first book, which is my brother-in-law's childhood copy, which I should probably return at some point, I've thrifted the rest of them, and that I think is a huge feat. But now that I'm looking at it on the shelf, I do think I want to find 1, 2, and 3 in hardcover just so they're all the same size. So I guess I kind of just have to decide, I'm like, am I going for the aesthetic or am I just going for the complete series? Because after what happened with New Moon, I feel bad passing up on a book that I'm actually looking for. But now that I've done it, it's like the game starts again and I can find whatever versions I want. I am acknowledging that majority of this vlog is me just yapping about books and then forgetting to film for like a week at a time. So that is on me. I'm gonna try to do better. But yeah, wrapping this whole thing up. I'm about to make dinner. Josh and I are going out of town again tomorrow, so I have to pack and do a little bit of laundry. I think that's it for the most random vlog I've ever posted. But I'll catch y'all in the next one.